Hi world. So I have been pushed to make this video by my own soul. It's telling me to make this video. So I have had profound experiences and I want to share them with the world because I want to see what the world thinks. Also, I want people that know what I'm talking about. Like the really profound experiences that you experience and you're like, what the fuck just happened? You know? I've had a lot. And I'm going to tell you this one of the first time I fell in love. So this might be a long one, but it's very beautiful. And I made this on my old channel, but I'm going to remake it because I'll never forget it. I'll never forget how beautiful it was for me. And if I cry, oops. But this is what happened. So, it all started in my bed, okay? I remember I wished for a guy who was blonde with long blonde hair and blue eyes, who treated me like a princess, who loved me more than anything. Okay, that's what I wished for. I was just talking to myself in my bed. I don't know how long went by. 8 months, 2 years, I don't know how long it was. But I remember I was on my computer and I was looking at tarot card readings. Okay? And I was just randomly coming across it. I was like, you know what? Why not? Maybe my future can be foretold. So, you might understand what's going on. So, here's what happened. The tarot card readings, they were very, so some channels I went to weren't as resonant as this one channel. There was one channel I watched of this guy who was very, very good at doing tarot readings. I forgot his name, but he was so good at them, and I was like, wow, he literally knew what he was doing. And I was listening to what he was saying, and I was like, I'm resonating with this. I don't know why, but it sounds right. Lo and behold, okay? Lo and behold, I forgot exactly what happened. This was when I was like 18. I'm 27 now. So, that was a long time ago, but this is the summarized story. Lo and behold, I find this guy on my Facebook, okay? He was gorgeous. I looked at him, I said, God damn, that's the most beautiful man I ever seen. So you know what I did, bitch? I went on his profile, and you know what he had as his fucking banner? A gap. And I was like, what? Because I got a gap. And I was like, shit, you like gaps, bitch? I got a gap. So, what I did was, I added him. Because I'm like, first of all, I already knew that he was related to this guy that my friend was boyfriends with. And I didn't know him, though. I never seen him. But I was stalking, and I saw that they were, like, talking. And I was like, oh, they must be cousins. And they were. So, but anyway. Literally, here's what happened. So, I'm not gonna lie. This is freaky. Okay? It gets real freaky. So here's what happened. He had the name of an angel. Okay, in the Bible. It's Elijah. That is the name of an angel in the Bible. His cousin's name was also in the Bible. Moises, which is Moses. Moses and Elijah are both in the Bible. And, now I'm not religious. However, I believe in God. And God sent me an angel named Elijah. And I'm going to tell you the story of how it happened. So, I was watching these videos, okay? After I added him, and you know, I would make random posts about going bike riding and about music using Audacity, and he would comment on them. And that was a very good indication for me that he was interested in me, because he would comment on my posts, and I was like, why is this cute guy commenting on my posts? Unless he likes me, bitch. So, here's what happened. So, sorry, it's so stupid. Oh, it's just so cute, like, remembering how it happened. It's just so cute. Because, I mean, it was my first love, and, like, I'll never forget it because it was so magical, you know? It was so beautiful to me. And it was just real weird. So, I'm going to kind of tell you my mindset. My mindset at the time, was that I was God. And this is where it gets kind of freaky. So, I might not be God as an individual, but my mind, I think, was God. And my mind was doing godly things. And I remember there was a synchronicity of me thinking he was going to comment on one of my posts, and right the next second he did. The next second. That's not a coincidence. The next second? It wasn't even a second. It was like a millisecond. I'm not joking. It wasn't even a second. It was like a 0.4 seconds. So it was a very noticeable synchronicity. And I was like, that's screaming to me, meant to be. So I'm not going to tell you. So I ended up messaging him, okay? And I was like, I need to talk to this guy because he's hot. So I talked to him, and, you know, I think there was, like, one time I talked to him and I said a few paragraphs, then I got scared and left. And then I came back a little bit later, and I think we started talking, and that same day, oh my god, I gotta go back in time for this. I have to go back in time because there's a synchronicity, I forgot about this, that happened years before this. And it was when I was watching Infinite Waters. Because Infinite Waters would go, the cat down the road. If you watch Infinite Waters, he always talks about a cat down the road. And I always thought he was talking about my soulmate. Guess who lived right down the fucking road? One street. This guy. One street. I don't think that's a fucking coincidence. I really don't. That's not a fucking coincidence. That's weird. That's beyond weird. It's spiritual. It's crazy. It's meant to be, apparently. Because it happened. It happened. That's why. Anyway. Yeah, I would watch him, and I've always thought, cat down the road, that sounds like it could be my soulmate. And, like, literally, years later, and, oh, there was also the synchronicity where Infinite Waters, he was telling me to take my dog for a walk. And this is important, because if I wouldn't have gotten to the habit of taking my dog for a walk, this event would never have happened. So let's go forward in time to after I messaged him the second time. So the second time felt like the first time again. So literally, I was talking to him, we were having fun talking. And I was like, well, I'm going to take my dog for a walk. I didn't tell him that, but I did. I went for a walk. I literally don't even go down the street. And I see someone on a bike. And I'm like, oh, it's him. It's him. I didn't even leave the fucking house for 1 minute. He was there. I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, oh my god, when I get home, I bet he's going to message me and ask if it was me. When I got home, he messaged me and said, oh my God, did I just see you? Because that's so weird, because I'd never seen you before, and like literally we just started talking and we just saw each other, and I'm like, yeah, that's weird, because he thought it was weird too. He thought it was weird too. Okay? And this whole thing was weird. It gets weird. It gets weirder. Well, no, it's already gotten pretty weird. So, there's been so many synchronicities. And, you know, not all of them were good. He's a human being. And I am too. So when I say I got sent an angel, I don't mean he's a perfect human being. I think we were at an angelic frequency together, resonating, if that makes sense. So he was, in a sense, an angel, spiritually an angel, but not a perfect being, because there is no such thing. So I'm going to tell you what happened. So we went on a date, and I didn't trust him. Well, we didn't go on a date. Okay, look. I asked him, or I think I asked him if he wanted to go bike riding one day after, because I noticed he was riding his bike. And I didn't really like exercise at the time, but I got into it, trust me. So I was like, oh my God, I'm going to go bike riding with this hot guy. So we ended up meeting, and he was on my porch, and I was like, oh my God, he's on my porch. So literally, I remember thinking he looked a little different in person, but I was like, I don't care. He's hot. So, like, literally, I don't know why. I don't know why I thought that, but that's what I thought. I guess because pictures, and it's different when somebody's moving. You know, when they're a 3D individual in your life, they're, like, moving, and they're animate. So it's weird, you know, seeing somebody from a picture into reality. It's very strange. So I met him, and I was like, oh my gosh. And so we went bike riding, and I remember I was so out of shape. I was like, oh my God, I'm out of shape, and this guy's in shape, and I can't even do anything. So I was literally trying to talk to him the whole time, because, you know, even though I was shy at the time, I wanted, you know, to keep him in my life. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. You know, I was just excited to talk to him. So I was like trying my hardest to conversate and talk. And I was like, oh my God, I feel so out of shape. I'm sorry. And he's like, it's fine. So we went to the park, okay? And I saw that he had a sticker on his bike that said Playboy. And I'm like, oh my God, it's a sign from the universe that you're a Playboy. And I told him that. I told him that. I was like, are you a Playboy? Because you have a Playboy sticker on your bike. Sounds like you're a Playboy. That's literally what I said. And he's like, I'm not a Playboy. Bitch, you liar. You liar. He was a Playboy. In my opinion, he was a Playboy. So I'm going to tell you what happened. So, was he still an angel to me? Absolutely. Because I experienced otherworldly things with him. I'm going to tell you what happened. So at the time, I was also interested in this other guy named Miles. Lo and behold, I fucking hate that motherfucker. And I don't know why. But I made a fucking mistake. I made a fucking mistake. Ew. So I told Elijah. I was like, I'm talking to this other guy, just want you to know. And he's like, oh, okay. And then, so he asked me out on a date. He's like, oh my God, I thought you were so cute, and I want to take you out on a date. And it was my first kind of real date. So I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. So we went to a smoothie place. I got a matcha smoothie. He got something else. And I remember his signature was a penis. Bitch, what? I remember that. I was like, God, he's gay. But he's hot, so whatever. So anyway, I was like, okay, you know what? Bitch, I'm gay too. Let's go. So anyway, in my head, I was always like, he's gay, but I'm the only one that makes him feel straight. Like, literally, that's how my mindset was. Because in my head at the time, my mind was God. So, God can make anything happen. Isn't that true? Therefore, your thoughts, the way you think, can make things happen. And guess what happened? Everything that I thought happened. Even the bad things. That's why you got to keep your thoughts in a good position. And I'm going to tell you what happened. So, I went out on a date. So, I think the Playboy thing might have influenced it, because God is your head, and God is your mind, and, you got to control your thoughts. Like a story. You got to control it. It keeps the magic. So I was, during this time, trying to control my thoughts to the highest degree that I could possibly. So I was essentially playing pretend every time I was thinking about this guy and in this guy's presence. And I was like, oh, well, in my head, I was like, oh, well, he thinks I look like his cousin, but a girl, and better looking. That's what I thought. And, like, because I thought he was gay for his cousin, and he was, so, whatever. Anyway, because they would, like, joke about getting married. He told me this, and I was like, oh, okay. Did I have a problem with it? No, because I thought he was hot. Like, I was like, okay. I didn't care. So anyway, anyway, I'm sorry. This is so personal, and this is so personal on a weird spiritual level, but I want you guys to hear this story. It's so cute. Because we were laying in bed together, and he told me that, so that's why. But anyway, I remember, I don't know, I think he asked me if I wanted to go to his house the first day, and I was like, oh, well, I don't know if I should, but I did. I went to his house, and I forgot what happened, but I think he was playing on his guitar, and he was, like, trying to, like, flirt with me with this little candy that he had. He was going like this to me, and I was like, oh, he's trying to flirt with me, which is good. So I think our next date, our second date, you little asshole, our second date. So remember how I told you he was a playboy because of the sticker? Bitch, I was right, because our second date, he had a fucking hickey on his neck. And I remember, I was like, because I was so mad. I was like, oh, you have a hickey on your neck? I thought you were going to be with me, you bitch. So, like, literally, I was like, I remember I was in the car with him, and we got to the destination, and it was huge. I saw it, and I was, like, looking at it this whole time. And I told him, I was like, so, what's up with that hickey on your neck? That's what I said. And he just kind of got quiet for a minute and told me the truth. He said, well, I kind of had, made out with my ex the other night. And I was like, well, then why are we going out on a date? And he's like, well, I like you. And I was like, okay, well, why are you doing that? And it was just, so the whole date was kind of awkward because I was like, I think this guy's hot. Should I give him a chance? But guess what I did? And I'm glad I did, because I'm going to tell you. Okay, so we were eating sushi. We went to Kroger. I think that was before I mentioned the hickey, I think. And we got sushi. So we went to the park or something and sat down, had sushi. And we were quiet the whole time because I guess he was thinking about his hickey or whatever. And I was thinking about it too because I was mad at him. I was like, what the fuck? You asked me out on a date and you have a hickey on your neck, you fucking asshole. But yeah. So, I don't know. I guess I'm a territorial creature or something. I don't fucking know. But anyway, this guy. So anyway, I gave him a chance. And I ended up going to his house that night. And I ended up, so we were like 18 at the time or something. So I was anyway. I don't know how old he was. He was like maybe 20. I don't know. But anyway, I don't know how old he was. I don't fucking remember. Maybe he was 18 too. I don't know. I don't think I even asked him. Oopsie. But anyway, I was legal. It don't matter. Anyway, I think I did ask him actually. But anyway, I don't fucking remember though. So I went to his house and we were watching movies. And I remember every movie I would pick, he would go, nah, I don't want to watch that. And like literally it was so ridiculous because it was every animation that I liked. And I was just like, I was mad at him, but I fucking was cracking up. Because like literally I thought it was so ridiculous. Because I would put it on. I would put it on for like 2 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and then he'd go, oh, I don't know if I want to watch this. And I was like, what? But I love it. And he's like, yeah, well, I don't know if I want to watch this. Because I put on Shrek, and apparently he doesn't like Shrek. And then I put on a Tim Burton film, and he said, well, I don't know if I like this. I said, what? How do you not like a Tim Burton film? But anyway, I just thought it was so ridiculous. So I literally started laughing, and I could not stop laughing. And then I forgot what happened, but we finally picked something. And then something in my head told me he wanted to cuddle with me. And then, like, literally, like, the next minute, he asked me if I wanted to cuddle. And I said yes. Because it felt like a synchronistic thing. So I was like, yeah, I do. I was excited, okay? And I remember, like, the first time we cuddled, he was kind of stinky. He was kind of stinky. And I was like, you know what? That's fine. I don't care. So anyway, I remember, I think he asked me if I wanted to spend the night. I was like, I don't know, man. You got a hickey on your neck. But I did. I did end up spending the night. Or I don't know if that happened in this succession. I don't know. This is how I remember it. And, or maybe that was before he had the hickey that we spent the night together. I don't fucking remember, but either way, it fucking hurt me. I don't remember, but I think it was that night. Oh yeah, because I told him I didn't trust him. I don't know. Maybe it was before the hickey? I don't remember. Oh, I'm bad. But either way, I spent the night, and I didn't want to cuddle with him. Oh, this must have been before the hickey, because I remember he said something about I didn't want to cuddle with him, so he didn't know if I was interested, so that's why he ended up making out with his ex. I think that's what happened. And I was like, yes, I'm interested in you. I just didn't trust you, and I'm glad I didn't cuddle with you now. So I think something like that happened. It was years ago. I don't fucking remember every detail, but something like that happened. And I remember when we had our first kiss, he had the hickey. He had the hickey. And you know what I did? I hickied over his hickey. I hickied over his hickey and gave him 500 more hickeys. That's what I did. I'm not joking. I really did. I hickied over his hickey. I gave him more hickeys. I really did. I'm sorry. Am I kinky for that? I feel like I am. He probably did too. He's probably like, I like this. Because I remember he said it was hot. So, thanks for that. But anyway, yeah, I remember that. Oh, also, I remember the first time we cuddled. Oh, my God. Bitch, the first time we cuddled, when I tell you that this guy felt like an angelic creature, touched my body, and took all of the pain from the past away. He did. It felt like pure magic. Okay? I cannot, it was tingly. I don't know how the fuck to explain it. If you've never felt it, you won't know. But it was tingly and it was magical. And I felt like we were connecting on a spiritual level. And I in my head, I remember I was thinking, are you cuddling with other bitches? Well, I don't care. Essentially. And I don't know if it was because I loved him that much, but I just didn't care. I really didn't. And I really didn't care. I was like, you know what? That's fine. I'm so weird for that. Like, literally, who does that? I guess me, apparently. When I'm in love with somebody, but when I fucking touched him, I knew I loved him. And I was in love. When I tell you we would text every fucking second of the day, we would. every fucking second we had. We would text each other. And I remember I loved it because I'm a clingy fucking girl. And he said he liked it. So that's even better. And I remember, you know, we would share music together all day. Different kinds of our favorite music. Music is my love language. I love music. And he was a musician. So he would make music and he liked music. And we would both share different kinds of music. And he liked some of the stuff I shared with him, and I liked some of the stuff he shared with me. And we just got along really good. Like, the way we communicated was, like, we were both having fun, I guess. And it was just really cute. And so, anyway, I guess I can just talk about it. I'm just reminiscing right now, and I'm having a good time. But, I mean, when you fall in love for the first time, that was the only time, too. I haven't fallen in love since, and I miss that feeling. I hope I get to feel it again. I'm 27, I'm getting old. I want to be in love. That's all I want. So, like, literally, oh my god. Thinking about him, dude, like, I hate it. Oh my god. No, because, like, literally, what the fuck do you mean that happened to me? What? Because it feels like, even when I think about it, it's just like, what? How is that possible? I don't know. But anyway, and he had the name of an angel? What? But anyway, I remember, even in silence, it was a comfortable silence. When we would hang out, I remember one day we were coloring together, and it was just silent. But it was like a comfortable silence. Like, we were still happy in silence, and that was great. And I remember we would go bike riding together a lot, and I ended up losing a lot of weight. I was like 140 when we started, and then I ended up at like 124 in like 2 weeks. Because he would take me bike riding for hours. And I remember, like, we would go in the street, and I was getting scared, but I didn't want to tell him because I thought he would think I was a loser. So I didn't want to tell him I was scared. Because, like, I was out of shape. I'd never exercised at all before then, and I was going for hours. And that's why I ended up losing so much weight. Plus, he was a chef. Did I tell you that? He was a chef, and he would cook me the best food I ever fucking ate. I swear. I was like, I'm so fat and hungry. But anyway, like, literally, I can't tell you, like, why. But yeah, I was like, literally, he made me, like, the best omelet ever, and it came with avocado, and he made me this fucking homemade pot pie, bitch. It was so good. I remember we came to his house. I went to his house. Oh, and he put on French music while he fucking made the pot pie. He put on French music. Like he was being romantic, and I was like, why is this so romantic? He's making me food with French music playing, and it's good food. Like, homemade? Oh, bitch. I remember that. Oh, I forgot about that. That's so cute. Like, who does that? Apparently, a man made in heaven, bitch. But yeah, I'm serious. That I remember that. And, like, I remember we would go bike riding, and he would have French music playing. Oh, it's just so cute. I remember that. It was so cute. I was just so excited to spend all of my time with him. Oh, but unfortunately we're not together. And we haven't been together for a long time. I'm going to tell you what happened. So, fuck. This is what happened. You know, this other guy named Miles that I was interested in, I told him. I told Elijah I didn't want to date him because I didn't trust him. I remember in bed, he was begging me for hours, going, I want to date you, please, please. And I was like, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. And he's like, why don't you trust me? And I'm like, because you had a hickey on your neck, motherfucker. And, like, literally, what else? I don't know. But he was begging me for hours. He swore on his grandma's grave. And I'm like, why would you do that? And his mom's. I said, why would you do that? And he said, because I want to be with you. I said, okay. And I think finally I gave in. I think finally I did. But it was short-lived. So, here's what happened. So, I remember on his Facebook, he made this post of wanting to go to the quarry, which is the swimming area. And I was like, well, because there's this girl who's the cute girl. She commented, oh, because he was like, hey, who wants to come? And she's like, oh, I want to go. And I was like, oh, okay. You're going to invite other girls that I think are cuter than me. And, you know, but at the end of the day, I didn't really care. I was like, whatever, I just want to have fun. And I was like, well, why are you inviting other people? And he's like, well, I just want to kind of have fun and party. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And I didn't really care. I didn't complain about it, really. I just kind of asked. And I remember we didn't get to go because we ended up breaking up. And I'm going to tell you what happened. So I told him that I was still talking to Miles while we were together. And he was like, well, why are you still talking to him? And I was like, well, why are you still talking to your ex-girlfriends? And we pretty much, I guess both were talking to other people. I mean, we were both young. We were like 18. I don't even know if we knew what the fuck we were doing. But I remember because I regretted it. Because... So here's what happened. My stepdad saw him walking with another girl. And I was mad. Because Elijah came over to my house. And he was like, Scarlett, I wasn't doing that. And I was like, why are you lying to me? And I remember I was crying. I was so upset. I was like, why are you lying to me? Just tell me the fucking truth. You know? Because my stepdad saw him. And I'm like, don't you fucking lie to me. And he even called up his mom and said, Mom, help me. And his mom tried to talk to me. And I'm like, dude, I don't believe you. My stepdad saw you. You know? He saw you. Like, I don't know. And he tried to tell me that it was his brother's birthday and his brother has long hair or whatever. And he said, and my stepdad said, well, because his brother had long brown hair, but my stepdad said it was a girl with long blonde hair. And I was like, well, your brother has brown hair. So where's he getting this blonde hair from? So, yeah, I was mad. But here's what happened. I think a week goes by. And here's another synchronicity for you. And I was on the porch with my mom with some wine because I was missing him. I was like, oh my God, I miss this fucking guy. And I was talking to her about him. And guess who pops up out of nowhere? Him. On his bike. And I stopped him because I was like, there's no way. Because like literally right after I started talking to him, he shows up. So I was like, Mom, I need it. So I took the chance and I said, hey, Elijah. So I brought him up and I said, come here. So I asked him if he wanted some wine with me. He said yes. So we went in my house, we had some wine together, and we talked a little bit. And I wanted him to tell me the truth. And he wouldn't. And I was like, why wouldn't you tell me? And he's like, because I didn't do it. I'm like, dude, my stepdad saw you. You think he just made it up? The fuck? And he even, did I tell you this? He even threatened to fight my stepdad. Oh my God, like what? I'm not even joking. Because my stepdad was pissed. And he's like, you want to go to the street? And he said, yeah. I was like, dude, you're not fighting my stepdad. So like literally he's about to get beat up for me. And I'm like, dude, just stop. I told Jeff to stop. I told him to stop. I'm like, no. This is ridiculous. So, it was just a whole thing. And I remember we did end up breaking up, and I ended up having sex with him after we broke up, and the next day I ended up having sex with Miles. This was a big mistake, because I told Elijah, and he blocked me. I guess he was upset. I mean, I would be too. But at least I'm honest. I mean, fuck. Because you can't even tell me the fucking goddamn truth. At least I can. I'll tell you shit you don't even want to know. I will. I'm the truther. You're the liar. And that's how it is. But anyway, I remember after I got with Miles, me and Elijah ended up hanging out behind Miles' back. Because I didn't love Miles. Miles was an asshole compared to him. He treated me like shit. I was like, ew, and he was ugly. I was like, no. I could have had a beautiful angel, but no. I didn't. And like literally, first of all, so Elijah and I remember we went to this party. So he invited me, and his cousin was there, and we were all in a circle. I thought it'd be a bigger one. I thought it'd be like a party like you see in the movies, but it was just like a circle of people drinking. And I was like, oh, that's not really a party, but whatever. So we were all drinking beer, and Elijah was next to me, his cousin was next to me. I was in a sandwich. And then there was other people I didn't know, and we were all talking in a circle, and his cousin was asking me questions about where I was from, blah, blah, blah. And Elijah was quiet for the most part. He's a quiet dude, I guess. And I remember we were all going to play a board game or something. And there's this girl that was sitting there, and I guess Elijah was sat next to her because there's not another spot available. And then I remember she asked me, because I told them he was my ex, and she asked me if I wanted to take our spot. I said yes. So I remember, I'm so bad. I remember I touched his skin, okay? Like, I did. Like, we were just touching a little bit. And I was letting it linger because it felt so good. It felt so good. Like, it felt like a tingly heaven. Like, there was chemistry. Like, it was insane. And I was like, oh my god, I'm in danger. Because I wanted to cheat. I wanted to cheat on my current boyfriend, Miles, for him because I loved him still. And I didn't love Miles. And I didn't want to break up with him for some reason. I guess because Elijah is a playboy, but damn, maybe I'm a playgirl. Fuck. But anyway, I guess we were both playing, huh? But anyway, I remember I went home on my bike, and Miles was there, and he's like, how was the party? I was like, good. He didn't question it. Thank God. But I remember there's another time I almost cheated on him. Because we went to the park. Oh, I'm so bad. But I remember we were laying in a field, okay? And I had this little flower, and he had his eyes closed, and I was just like, oh my god, I want to kiss him, but I don't want to cheat on my boyfriend, so you know what I did? I put this little leaf to his lips, and you know what he did? He went in for a kiss. I felt so bad. Because it was just a leaf. It was just a leaf. And I was like, oh, he really wanted me. He really wanted me. But he couldn't have me. Because I didn't want to cheat. But I probably should have. Because I loved him. I should have cheated and broken up with him. Ew. Because that guy, he was an asshole. The Miles guy, he was an asshole. Elijah, he was an angel compared to him. That guy was a fucking demon. God, he treated me like shit. Ew. But Elijah treated me like heaven. It was heaven in his presence, When I touched him, I felt heaven. When I looked at him, I felt heaven. Bitch, every moment with him was heaven. I felt like I was in heaven. I felt like I was heaven. I felt like we were heaven together. That's how I feel. But, that's what happened. So, that's pretty much how... I don't know if that was the last time I ended up hanging out with him. But I think I told him I couldn't hang out with him anymore. But yeah, I think he ended up unblocking me or something. I forgot what happened, but... Or maybe I asked him if he would unblock me. I don't remember. No, yeah, I think I asked him. The wine thing. I think that's when I asked him to unblock me. Yeah. Because he did block me. I think that was after the Miles thing happened. Yeah, so that makes sense. So, anyway, I was with Miles still for a long time. He ended up abusing me, emotionally and physically. So I got shit out of that. Shit. Literally. And, like, literally, so I do have a son now, and I don't regret him, okay? But I'd say that I guess young me was a stupid girl. I was very stupid and naive. Also, he was stupid. We were both stupid. And that's okay, because we were young. You know, I mean, whatever. We were like 18. 18-year-olds, they're dumb. Especially when it comes to love. But yeah, I remember when we would text each other, my brain was throbbing love hormones. Like, it was throbbing. Like, I've never, like a high that you've never felt in your whole life. Like methamphetamine, like throbbing fucking euphoria. I can't explain. Like a brain-gasm. I don't know how to explain it, but that's how it felt. It was magical. I never, well, I guess I kind of have, but not that intensely. But, I don't know, I was just in love, like head over heels. For real. I remember I thought that I was head over heels in love, and I was. And I did tell him. I told him after we broke up. And I'm silly for that. I really am, because, yeah. But I think that was, you know. But anyway, I'm going to tell you another something. So I ended up seeing him after that. I'm going to leave one part out, but I ended up seeing him years later at a Starbucks when I worked there. And I'm going to tell you something. Guess what happened? The night before that, I had prayed to see him again. The night before I saw him. That's right. I prayed for him. And guess who came? He did. I remember I saw him and I said, oh my God. What the fuck? Every time I see him, it's a mystical thing. If I ever see him again, I'm sure it will be. Also, there's another thing that happened. After he got his girlfriend pregnant, I remember I saw him at Little Caesars. And I was thinking, like, I remember right before I went in there, I was thinking about the last time I went in there was when I was with him and me and my friend were hanging out. So I went in there. I ordered. I turn around. And his face is right here. Right here. What? I don't fucking know. But every time I see him, it's weird. And he literally scared me because I was like, ah, what the fuck? Like, I was like, oh my god, you scared me. And then I asked him how he was, because I was like, oh, that's so weird and awkward. I gotta just, because he literally had just gotten his girlfriend pregnant. And I was like, oh my god, this is so weird. But it was weird. Every time I see him, it's fucking weird. But yeah, that's the story. It's kind of depressing, isn't it? However, I'm glad it happened. It was beautiful. Better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all. That's what I think. Also, if it's meant to be, it will be. That's it. That's all I gotta say. If it's meant to happen, it will. And if I ever see him again, it will probably be magical again. Because every time I see him, it's magical. Every fucking time. I don't know. I'm 27 now. I'm old. However, I'm not that old. I'm young, though. I'm young, but in an old way. You know what I'm saying? I'm almost 30. So. But if I ever see him again, I'm sure it'll be weird. Because it always is. Every fucking time. But, that's the story of when I fell in love for the first time. Let me know what you think. I think it was beautiful. And I'm glad I could share it with you. Because at the end of the day, you know, love is beautiful. Even if it's naive, even if it's stupid, even if it ends bad, it's still beautiful. And I'm glad that it happened. Because I loved that. I loved him, and I loved that experience. Everything about it was beautiful to me. Even the sad parts, it was because of my choices. And I have to realize that. I made the decision to break up with him. I did that. I made the decision to go for somebody else right after. I did that. And I can't blame him. Because he's married now, I guess, or something. He's at least got a kid with a girl. And, I haven't talked to him. He hasn't talked to me in forever. I've tried to message him. He won't. And I'm not going to force anything. If he doesn't want to talk to me, that's fine. And he has a girlfriend. I'm glad he doesn't want to talk to me. Because somebody couldn't do that for me. And that's why I'm not pressed about it. Because I deserve somebody who will do that for me. And I really mean that. Because that's what I deserve. I deserve an angel who doesn't cheat. Or lie. Or try to make himself feel better by lying and making shit up. No. You can tell the damn truth. Bitch. But anyway, that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments if you've ever fallen in love and what happened. I'm very curious to know what happened for you and if you experienced synchronicities and how magical and special it was, because I think it's absolutely adorable that that's even possible. And I want you to explain to me how magical you thought mine was, because I think it was absolutely magical. Oh, also, there's one more thing. I remember one time he left my room, and as he left, I felt his finger, like his spirit, finger me. I don't know how the fuck that's possible, but it was like I felt his spirit finger me. I know that's such a weird thing, but that's what happened, and I don't know. Nobody believes me, but I know what happens. I know what happens, so. But yeah. That's my story, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I enjoyed reminiscing about it, because, shit, it was beautiful, and I don't regret it. I don't regret being in love with him, and I don't regret giving him a chance. But, And I guess in a way I also don't regret doing that because I have my son now, and my son is beautiful, and I love him. I adore him more than anything in the universe. And I really mean that. So, yeah, that's really it. I don't know. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.